we have come a long way. Infinity Gauntlet #1, George Perez, Jim Starlin.
So good.
It's amazing.
That's so good.
What would you say? Like, this is an entirely different experience for me because I've read the Infinity Gauntlet before, but having read all the issues that kind of built up to this moment, I read it differently.
Yeah, I've read the main event before, the 6-issue event, but never the prequels. All of this prologue that we've spent the past few months breaking down.
Yeah, since issue 34 of Silver Surfer.
Makes a huge difference.
And some of those extra crossovers. It does. You see these characters differently. Their reactions offer bigger surprises. You don't expect things to play out the way they do if you read them in order like we did. So I definitely encourage you to watch all the episodes before, but this is issue 1 of Infinity Gauntlet. We pick up the story from Silver Surfer issue number 50 with Silver Surfer crash landing into Doctor Strange's home.
Yeah.
And we had a comment from a viewer.
Yeah, in our last video, Brenton S. had something to say that actually got my noodle cooking, made me think, which is always cool. I like thinking.
Thinking's fun.
Yeah. You realize that Thanos, by telling Silver Surfer to warn Earth of him, the once Herald of Galactus became the Herald of Thanos.
Oh.
Mind blown right now.
That's a fantastic point, because that is very true. Silver Surfer was doing Thanos' duty at that point. Because Thanos was welcoming the challenge of Silver Surfer spoiling his plans to the creatures on this worthless planet called Earth. And this story is pretty much split off into 3 different pieces, 3 different sets of characters experiencing things all at once. We have Silver Surfer and Doctor Strange, who essentially just bring us up to speed if you didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I've got a writer's background, and my writer brain breaks this down into 3, like an A plot, a B plot, and a C plot in terms of importance.
Sure.
I would say the A plot being Thanos, Mephisto, and death. That's where like all the action happens, the meat of this story.
Okay.
I would rank the Silver Surfer and Doctor Strange, like you said, mostly recap. That's probably the B plot.
Okay.
And then down there at the bottom, least important, but still like what? The C plot of these 3 criminals that we're going to get into in a little bit.
So let's start with Silver Surfer crashing into Doctor Strange's home. This has got to be worst case scenario for someone who's just like chilling, reading the book like he is.
Yep. Yeah, he's got no idea what's going on.
It's like Donnie Darko style. Like imagine an airplane just whoosh in your place, like where you're just relaxing and chilling.
Your home. It's supposed to be your fortress.
And we have to like take a quick little break and take a look at this first panel. George Perez, are you kidding me, man? He channeled Ditko in this little panel here.
It's a little subtle wink and a nod.
It's his cape, but with Ditko's strange shapes with a hidden universe inside of it.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I bet it made Ditko proud.
While he was still alive.
Rest in peace. And we move on with a full like recap of like, hey, Thanos is back, Doctor Strange, things isn't good, and he is super powerful.
He kind of just gives him a straight rundown of everything that happened to him ever since issue 34. They're like, Thanos got resurrected, and we got sucked into the Soul Gem, and now we're back, and here we are.
There is a very important page in this sequence of events as well.
You talk about page 12?
Page 12, Thanos demonstrating full power.
He's pretty much maxed out his power levels at this point.
We've seen him do some really impressive stuff. You know, molding planets.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Stomping little mammals.
That's impressive.
Yeah, but in this case, we see a gorgeous picture of Thanos really going all out as Silver Surfer is explaining the gravity of the situation. Thanos is controlling gravity in this other panel.
Very true. Nice little wordplay you just did. That was good.
There is not just like Ditko stuff happening here. There is straight Salvador Dali like melting of time,
some acid stuff,
imagery. George Perez went out of his way.
It's like dinosaur skeletons, tidal waves, and like buildings upside down.
Yeah, like that guy's legs are like attached and they're stretching. Like it's like black hole stuff, and then there's like reality changing, like dimension, Doctor Strange panels. It's crazy, but it's gorgeous.
It kind of sums up what Thanos is capable of in one page.
And we haven't really seen him demonstrate the extent of that power until this one page, and it took George Perez to do it.
We love you, Ron Lim, but George Perez.
Damn, man. Damn.
So the Silver Surfer stuff, that's like the B plot of this this storyline. And you could say, like we said before, the C plot. The one that feels most inconsequential is this group of 3 random criminals who just like robbed a bar and killed a person.
Yeah, we don't know who these people are. This is like in between these plots. There's this little story here.
Little breather. They're doing this getaway. They're driving like 60 plus, go off a cliff, crash and burn.
Freaking die.
Yep. And it's like, okay, well, that was a weird little story that we just told, but later you find out that it's 3 characters from the Soul World who are using these dead people to have Adam Warlock transport their souls into the real world via these bodies.
Who are these 3 people?
Adam Warlock himself, Gamora, and Pip the Troll get
Very
resurrected into these corpses.
See, we knew that they were trapped in the Soul Gem. We knew that Adam Warlock could get them out because they were actually showcased when Silver Surfer and Drax found themselves trapped inside that Soul Gem and were released by Adam Warlock as well.
Except Adam Warlock didn't have to have them possess dead people to get out of the Soul Gem before.
That's correct. Their bodies were... I guess their bodies didn't decay fast enough because they weren't in there long.
I don't know what the reason is, but yeah.
That's a good question.
They didn't have to go through this whole dead person thing like Pip and Gamora are doing right now.
But fortunately, Gamora's like her human host is changing into green. And she's stoked about that. And then we see a Cocoon completing the end of this sequence, showcasing that Adam Warlock is returning.
Yeah, so all 3 of them are coming back.
Super exciting. And then we have the most important part of this issue. We have what's going on with Thanos, Mephisto, and, you know it, Death herself.
I almost said Lady Death.
That's Lady Death. That's a different person.
Different Death.
Still very cool and underrated.
Sexy, too.
We've been joking about this, but Mephisto is Dwight Schrute.
Yeah.
He's just behind, he's trying to get the manager slot, man. You got to watch out for this guy. He wants the job.
Always got to keep your eye on your number 2.
You know, he's feeding Thanos some, like, you know, words of wisdom a little bit, but also
not at all. I'm getting the feeling he's kind of setting Thanos up, it feels like. There's various times where he tells him, like, why don't you try this?
Ooh.
Do it that way instead, Thanos. Like, maybe you should go hard. Like, she's not responding to your overtures right now, Death, so maybe you need to get weirder.
Okay, so this is a really important part of this issue because we know from prior issues, he has 2 motives here. The first is he has the gauntlet for modem number 1, get rid of half of the universe. Okay? But why does he want to get rid of half of the universe? Is because he was resurrected by Death, someone who he loves, Death personified. And it's this task that he believes that if he completes, she'll love him. And that's all he's looking for. He's looking for love.
It's really all it boils down to.
It really is. And this conversation between him and Death in this issue is the most discouraging to Thanos and has the biggest reaction that we've seen. Like reading all of these issues up until this point, I didn't, like, as a reader, you wouldn't think he would snap the fingers.
No.
Right?
You'd think, like, years of reading comic books have trained us to believe, like, someone's going to come in and save the day.
Yeah, this could
not going to get that bad.
Happen. And based off the last comics, like, stuff has, like, continually, like, delayed the process. Like, mentally, I know this happens, but as I'm reading it, like, the story plays out in a way that you wouldn't expect it to happen. And that is only something you would get if you read the prior issues.
Right.
This buildup that Jim Starlin has methodically planned out.
Years in advance.
Oh, it's brilliant.
He laid the groundwork for this.
So Thanos, he talks to Death, and he's like, hey, will you please talk to me?
Please love me.
We learn in prior issues that Death is, like, views herself so far below Thanos now.
Yep.
That she's not worthy to be his partner. That it would be essentially enslavement if she were to be considered a partner because he is so much more powerful than she is. Because of that, she doesn't look at Thanos. She doesn't talk to Thanos. She uses her servant to communicate with Thanos.
And he has, like, a little moment of rage.
He does.
Too, when regarding this servant, tells him something he doesn't want to hear. And Thanos they kind of exchange glares. And then Thanos just explodes him.
Exactly. Enough of that.
He's kind of losing it, it almost seems like.
It's like, why won't she just look at me? Why won't she talk to me? He builds her a shrine.
Shrine.
And did you notice like this shrine that he created, he had a little bit of a model.
It reminded me of her throne that we saw way back in, I think it was issue 34.
Yeah, when we were first introduced to her,
Yeah.
Thanos was being resurrected, and you see her throne. It looks just like the shrine, but it's like times 10.
The similarities I see are just in like construction material. They both appear to be based off of like a bone theme.
And you see this theme first in issue 34.
Yeah.
This is before Thanos was resurrected. So this is Death's, like, she chose.
It's her style.
This is her thing.
Bones and
Yeah.
skeletons and
So when Thanos makes her a shrine of skeletons and skulls, 2 chairs, one for her and one for him.
how thoughtful.
Yeah, he's like really going out of his way. And there is something here that we need to break down because I think this is like the most revealing part of the story as far as like changing stuff up. Did you notice we see Death's face?
I did notice that about halfway through the issue or so.
That hasn't happened up until now.
She's normally just like a Grim Reaper kind of skull face underneath her robe, her hood, but now she's got like an attractive young lady face.
Even the shrine has a skull on one end and then a human personification of death on the other. You and I like read this differently at first. I thought that Thanos was making her look like this, using the gauntlet to change how she looked,
Right.
to make her look more human. But that could be looked at a little differently.
My reading of it was that that nothing had physically changed at all, that this was just a glimpse into how Thanos sees her. To me, that's creepier.
Yeah,
That
this
nothing's
is like,
actually changing.
so maybe everybody else, maybe even to Death herself in this story, maybe we're just getting a glimpse of what Thanos sees. Like this is mentally
This is who he's in love with.
like who he's in love with and what he sees through his eyes. But to everyone else, and outside of Thanos' vision, she looks like this skeleton, like Death. That seems to make sense. But the statue, you see the statue of 2 different faces. Maybe he makes one of the faces and it's just different and no one else can see
It's like, oh,
the
why is
similarities or anything. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a weird thing up there. But it's creepy nonetheless. And she still doesn't talk to him.
No, she gives him the literal cold shoulder a couple times in this issue, and you can see the pain in his face.
So he does what he has to. He's like, oh, wait a minute.
I haven't done the one thing that I was brought back to life to do, which was like kill everybody. So,
He does it.
let's do it. Yeah.
He snaps his fingers. And
And-
it's like one of the biggest moments in Marvel storytelling right here.
You could say this is one of the most important pivotal moments in the entirety of Marvel Comics.
I would agree so. As far as an event goes,
Yeah.
holy smokes.
Before we get too much further, all of the stuff with Death and her face, face or skeleton, like I kind of want to kick that to the audience. That seems like a good topic.
Is Thanos seeing Death's face? Like, is this all in his head, or is this actually happening in reality? Is he making her look different with the gauntlet? Put your answers in the comment section below. We'd love to get your thoughts because we were going back and forth on this and we don't know.
Yeah, let's discuss.
He does the snap. And I appreciate that the first hero that we see experience the snap of Thanos' fingers is Mr. Peter Parker.
Right. Unlike the movie, he doesn't go anywhere, but he's swinging around New York City and he just looks down and sees people vanish.
He's wearing his mask, so you don't see his reaction, but you know it's bad.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you see the next hero.
The next person we see is Captain America.
Haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, like way back at the start of our coverage, I think issue 35, we talked about Silver Surfer going to warn him, and we haven't seen him since. But now we see him.
Hanging out with Hawkeye and Cersei.
Yeah, for now, because they both disappear with the finger snap. They're gone.
Right in front of his face.
They don't turn to dust like in the movie. They just slowly fade out.
And Captain America looks terrified.
Yeah, he kind of like reaches out to both
He's
of them.
trying to grab them, trying to save them. And they look like they're in pain.
Yeah, they're holding their heads.
Yeah, this is something a little different than the movies even, because it disintegrating in the movies seems like they just kind of faded away. But no, this looks like the characters are indeed in pain.
Yeah.
And discomfort. All right, and then don't forget, we have the cosmic beings who are also experiencing this too. Drax is watching Alf in the corner.
Because why not?
Why not, man?
Not like there's anything important going on.
Mentor disappears.
Yeah.
Then we have Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner's hanging out at a bar. He's watching TV and he sees this news report And they're talking about how animals are disappearing too. It's not just human beings, it's people's pets, their cattle. It's a widespread living being problem, not just a human being problem.
We finished this video with Bruce Banner, but we're going to actually pick up our next video with Bruce Banner as well, because we have an Incredible Hulk comic book coming into the saga now.
Incredible Hulk 383, that's up next.
Super excited, and I'm curious, with Infinity Gauntlet #1 coming to a close, what does it guide for in the Overstreet Price Guide?
I thought about this when we were prepping for this issue. I wanted to see what the jump in price.
Year over year?
Or drop. Yeah, year over year, because we got both guides this year and last year.
Whoa, what does 17 say?
2017, this book was going for $40, 9.2.
Okay.
This year, $45.
All right, so you have a $5 hike up. And that's actually pretty significant because this is a 9.2 grade. There are a number of tiers in between that and the, kind of the high grade standard of 9.8, which is a significant hike. $5 at a 9.2 can mean hundreds in a higher grade difference. So that's super exciting. We're seeing this rise because of the movies, because of the Thanos craze. And I am super stoked to be covering this with you, my buddy Ryan, and with the audience, the coolest comic book community in the world. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And as always,
geek responsibly.
Enough said. If you want to get merch, help support the podcast, you can go to geekstreet101.com.